Hi everyone, and thank you for purchasing the Product Benefits Shopify section by qwiqode. In this video, I'll be showing you how to actually use it. So if you haven't installed it yet, please refer to the separate video included in the package, and you also have access to a PDF with instructions. So to get started, go to the theme editor, head over to the page you want to add the section to, then over on the left, click on Add Section, and search for the section, Product Benefits. All right, so over on the left, we have a place to add in all the different type of content, to update the video or the image on the left, the content blocks over here, and the button. Now on the right, we have all the settings for the different ones. So let's start by adding some content in. We'll start with the section media. So as mentioned, we can either choose an image or a video. If we want an image, just click on image. You can upload as you would normally with any section, and we get the image right into there. And if you want a video, select up here video, and then you can paste your YouTube or Vimeo URL right here, or select a video that is self-hosted. There we go. And we can click on that and we get a video right there. Next, we can update a poster image. So if you don't want, let's say, this video to autoplay, you can select a poster image. So we can choose, let's say, even that same image, and then we get a play button. And when you click on play, the video starts playing. And scrolling down, since we're already there, let me just get that image back. Under video settings, we can upload a different play icon. So you can use your own custom icon right over there. We can set up the different sizes for the icon. And then we can do autoplay loop and show controls. So if we get rid of this image and select autoplay video, the video automatically plays. Then you can loop the video and you can hide the controls. So it's just like that. Let's go back up to the other settings. We have an option to set the position of the image or the video on the left side, on the right side, or in the center, like that. As you can see, center, then it splits the content to the sides. We can update the width of the media, so we can make it much larger, much smaller, depending on how many items you have here and how big you want the video to be. Just keep it at 50 right now. Expand to full width. So as you can see right now, these are the original dimensions of the video. But you could click that and it'll expand to the very height of this block. And this will change too, depending on the size of the image, how much text you put in here. So you can always have them fit snugly by checking this option. Gap between the two, so that's this gap right over there. So you can make that much bigger if you'd like. Now, original dimensions, if we turn this off, we can select landscape. So landscape's going to be the same because this video originally is a landscape video, but we can make it portrait, which, as you can see, it already expands to the height, and this would expand to the height of the video as well. Or we can make it square, just like that. Let's just keep it square for now. Next, media border radius. So we can set up the radius of this video or image and the corners. And then on mobile, we have an option. If we go into mobile, as you can see, we have the video or the media at the top. That's what's set here with all the items below. You can set it to be at the very bottom, like that, or you can have it appear in the center, just like that. And then also you can set up the gap, enlarge the gap here as well. And those are the settings for the media. Next, we have the benefits. So each one of these is basically a benefit block, and you can always add more right over here by clicking that. And then, as you can see, if you have an odd number of items, then this item expands to the right. And So let's just hide that for now. Now here we can set up background color, either a gradient or a background. So if we set this up and we choose, let's say, this color, well, that's not as visible. Let's choose this red. So you can see we can have that color, or we can choose a gradient. And then we have a gradient where here we can set up that gradient with this pop-up setting. But let's just go back to background color and let's just remove it for now. And we can also set up a border. So we could put in a border like that and then set the color however we'd like. And we have these settings individual, so you don't have to have all of them, let's say, with a border or a background color if you want to highlight one of the items. Same goes with all the colors of the different fonts and texts around here, so that each one you can make different however you'd like. So you have that freedom to do it, or of course make them all the same. Let's put that to 0, and then it gets rid of the border. Next, we have image or icon, whatever you'd like to put in there. So if we go into here, let's set this icon. So we get the icon right in there. We can, of course, hide it completely if we don't want anything. Benefit title. So here, that just updates that, of course. And color. Text block is this block right over here. And then the text color is right over here. And then we have an option to add in a button. So you can select here, contact us, let's say, and once you add in the label, the button will appear, right, like that. And we have an option to have it either like a CTA style button or a text link. So you can do something like that. And then we have some more options of setting these up along with the styling and sizes of all this over on the section settings. So we can keep that right like that. Those are the settings. And then button, the last item is this button here. So we can put in label, set up the URL to go wherever we want. We can move the button. So if we want it to be right over there, or you could set up a custom font for it, choosing a custom font and then changing this here like that. And if you have a manually installed font via CSS, you could just take that CSS code here and paste it right in there. A little bit more of advanced for those who know that they have manually installed fonts that aren't in this long list that Shopify provides. Next, we have font weight, so we can make this button bold, and we can adjust the sizing of the button. Where padding is the space within the button, vertical and horizontal. We can make the border thicker. We can make it round corners. Margin top is the space below, so we can make this farther, move it farther down. Margin bottom isn't very important. Maybe we'll even get rid of that. And then font size and letter spacing, like that. Then we have the same settings for the mobile, where we can adjust the alignment, the padding, margin top, font size, and letter spacing as well. Then we get into colors. So in colors, we can make the text color, let's say, make that red, make the background color a gray, and the border color, you could do that. You could set it to 0, so there is no border color, and then the hover colors. So as you can see here, the background color turns black, the text color turns white, and the border disappears. So you can adjust that how you'd like. Now, one last note about how many items you can put in here. Generally, we can only put in 9 for everything to work. Anything more than 9 of these blocks, of these custom items, then they're just going to be ignored. That's just for the length and the layout, that it'll just get too messy. But let's just add in the maximum for now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. As you can see, when we have 9, the list gets pretty long. And again, we're going to be able to add in some spacing and some of those things to make it a little bit smaller, but it really does depend. We have an option also to have 3 columns. And of course, if we want the media position to be centered, it'll also look different. So there's a lot of flexibility to go what we want. And then if we expand this to the full height, then we have something looking like this. So there's a lot of different options we can do here. So let's get to the main section settings. So clicking on the main section up on the left, and we'll go from top to bottom. So we have this whole header area. Section title is right over there. We can update this section title however we'd like. Something like that, or our featured products, better yet. HTML element. There's 2 benefits to being able to set up HTML element. There's 6 different headings. The 2 benefits are one for better SEO. As Google and other search engines, they scan through the page and they look at the different headlines, these headings. And H1 is the most important part of the page. It's usually recommended just to have 1 on the site so it knows what the page is about. So keywords that are put into there are very important. And then other sections, like we usually use H2 for sections because they're very important, but they're not the most important part of the page. That's usually, for a page title, for instance, and so on. And the other benefit is that it would inherit the theme's styling for these different headings. So for instance, if I choose H3, you see the size changes, sometimes the font weight changes, and so on. So those are the 2 benefits that you can go in and adjust. But we recommend using H2 in any case for main section settings. Next, section text. So we have this text here. You can update the text however you'd like. And then here too, the HTML element, you can select anything, but then you also have P, which is regular paragraph as well. Inside or outside of wrapper. So this only works when the section width is set to regular, which it is right now. As you can see, but we'll see the difference if we choose a background color. So if we choose this background color, for instance, then you can see that right now the header position is within, and then we can set this outside of it, just like that. But then once here in section width, we set full width, it goes back inside. That's just a limitation we have with the code. But you can see when we set full width, then the background extends to the very edge. And then within that, we can adjust the max width of the content block itself, make it smaller or bigger. Same thing with the regular. With the regular, it just takes into account the background color as well, like that. And then if this isn't full width and we select real full width, then this whole content block will extend all the way to the very edges of the page. Right now it isn't because we have some padding. I'll scroll down here, you see horizontal padding. If we get rid of that, then you can see the image goes all the way to the edge, as well as this content block all the way to the edge. I don't know if this is something that you're going to want to do, but you have the option of doing that. I just put it back to regular, and then we can get rid of this background color for now. All right, moving on. Section, margins, and padding. So we just touched upon that, but margin is the space above and below the entire section. Right now it's really long, as you can see, but we'll get to that. So you can add more margin and it gives more space below, or if we want more space here above, we can add that up. And you can see it pushes it from any content that's above. And then padding as well. We'll see this actually if we put the background color back. So you see there's only a very small padding. Let's put this at full width right now so you can see that. We'll add in top padding so you can see it gives more space above here, And then of course, some more space below at the bottom padding, you can see. And also when this is in regular width, then the padding works here, not on the entire section. And then we can add in some more horizontal padding here to show the spacing on the sides. And we have these same settings for the mobile. So the margins and the padding are all for mobile as well, separate. Section styling, so we have section title styling. So we can set the title alignment, left, right, or center, set the color of it, use a custom font. We went through that before with the button, so it's the same idea, where you could change the font here to something else, like that. CSS manually installed font, just like that. Font weight, can make that thinner, let's say, if we want. Title spacing, so we can add that. Right now, because we don't have that background color, then we don't really need to have a margin at the top of the title, but sometimes it could get handy. And then title bottom, so you can see you can add more spacing between that and the text description. Of course, if you don't have a text description and it's going to be gone, then it's going to give more space between the title and the content block itself. And then font size, line height. For the title, it's a little less important. I'll show you that because this title usually does not extend to 2 lines. And then letter spacing as well. Same settings for the mobile version. So in the text area, it's the same exact settings, like I just discussed and explained. Custom font, color, alignment, and all that. Margin top, we can add some margin top there, margin bottom, so that gives more space over here. Font size, line height, so this is where I can show you line height. As you can see, you can make the lines much bigger depending on the style of your site. And then letter spacing there, and the same settings for the mobile version. Now we have a little bit more of block area settings. So all these settings here, we have an option. Let's get rid of these for a moment. Make it a little bit smaller, so we only have 4 benefits to show. We can stack these, so it'll be 1 in each line. And actually, let me just add in images here again. Put in the same icon. Okay. So we can stack them like I mentioned. We can display them in 3 columns, and as you can see, when you do 3 columns and there's only 4 total, then the last one does get a little bit bigger because it extends to the full width of the block. If we add another one, they're split into 2, and then one more, it's back to the same size. And then of course you can add in 3 more, just like that. Let's hide these for now and put in just 4, just like that. Background color, so you can change that background color as you'd like. Now here, but let's keep that color actually. Background border radius, so we can add a border radius here. Or better yet, just to make it easier, let's just get rid of this background color. Okay. And not have this dark. There we go. So border radius, we can set that up and adjust that how we'd like so that it would be similar, for instance, here. Vertical padding, so that's a space within, so we can make that more. And then as you can see, because the height, these items do align, then it just scrunches the spacing between them more. And then horizontal padding is the padding within, like that. vertical space between blocks, so we can increase the space between in the vertical, so here, and horizontal right over here. And it is a little bit of adjustment between the spacing here and the padding to get things looking right, and it really does depend on how much content and how big the images are, etc. Then we have the same items, the same settings for mobile. As you can see also on mobile, we have right now 1 in each column, but you can set that up to be 2, like that. And then same thing, we can adjust the vertical padding to give more space over there, more space in between the items, like that. Moving on, block settings. So each one of these block settings. So we can do block border radius. Right now we don't see a radius because we don't have a background color. If we go into here, or a border, we can choose this color and then give it a border like that. And so then here we can adjust the radius like that, and then the padding within it. As you can see. And we have the padding also for the mobile version. Next, the image settings. So for an icon, it doesn't really matter what kind of cropping you have here, but you would be able to use the original size, landscape. Actually, how about I'll show you here. We'll change this to this image. So right now it's set to landscape. You can set it up portrait, square, and then you can also enlarge the image as well to 100% of the width. For instance, 100% of the entire width of this section minus the padding. You can make it smaller, that, and it works for all of them. And we have that option for mobile as well. Now we have text styling for these, so you can make that left aligned. So everything is left aligned, or center or right, and you can adjust that for the mobile version. Block title, so we have HTML element option to select what type of HTML element to use for the title, and then font and all of the same margins. You can increase the margin here from the image. The font size, make it bigger. It's a little bit too big. Something like that. Line height. In this case, line height could be important because these titles can get a little bit long. And then letter spacing, same for mobile. And the same exact settings for the text block itself. And for the button disappeared on us here, so if we put in here page contact and then contact like that, and then let's say on the second one we'll put in, it doesn't matter, about, and then make this a link, text link type. So we can set up a custom font for this button itself. Same font weight, horizontal padding as you saw before. You can make the button much bigger. Border width, border radius, margin top, so give it some more spacing there. Font size and letter spacing, and same settings for the mobile version. And the same colors for button colors, and this will have to move over, but for the hover colors and for the regular. So we have that, we have the hover colors taking place in there. And then here we have this option where you can, for these regular text link colors, you can choose not to have the underline there, and you can choose a different color for the button, like that. The rest of the styling is inherited from this. And those are all of the settings. So that's it. Thank you very much. If you guys have any questions or comments or need help with anything, please don't hesitate to reach out to us via the support page on our website. And that's it. Have a good day.